Thank you for inviting me. My name is Dick Larson. I'm from MIT, and my nickname is Dr. Q. Q-U-E-U-E, as in waiting lines. And queuing, spelled the British way, with the E stays in at the end, and the ing. If you play Scrabble, it's great, because you get 5 vowels in a row. That's really valuable. But every queue is a business opportunity, and every queue poses problems. So we're going to think about it. Do you know that up to many millions of Americans spend up to 2 to 3 years of their waking lives in queues of various kinds? They do, and I can explain that if you want to talk to me about this. So I think about our lives as lives on the line. Lives on the line literally and figuratively. And also, you could say, well, to queue or not to queue? That should not be the question. That should not be the question. So how do we think about queuing? Well, when was queuing theory born? Well, it was born by an engineer, the Danish telephone engineer, A.K. Erlang, in 1909 to 1915. And he was assigned the job of figuring out what the queue capacity should be of central telephone switches in Copenhagen. And from then, over 10,000 technical mathematical papers have been written about queuing theory. And believe me, I teach some of this stuff at MIT. So I know this, and I've even invented some of it myself. All right, I confess. But there's another aspect to queuing that was born in the mid-1950s. And Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse are, I would give credit to inventing this. They are the Machiavellian experts on the psychology of queuing. They're geniuses. And let me give you a simple example, not a Mickey Mouse example, but in New York City, elevators. After World War II, high-rise buildings, people found themselves living in high-rise apartment buildings, and they found themselves going to high-rise office buildings, and they found rush hours for elevators just like they found rush hours for buses and cars and subways. All right? So you think, oh my God, there were lots of complaints all of a sudden about rush hour delays for elevators in these buildings. The building owners were getting complaints. How do you think about this? Well, if a traditional engineering approach here, some engineer might go and say, my God, they really need 8 elevator shafts at rush hour. There are only 4. There's only one solution. Dynamite the building and start over again. We're not going to do that, okay? So a fellow from Wharton School in Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania, went there and said, aha, we've defined the problem incorrectly. It's not the duration of the waits for the elevators. It's the complaints about the duration of the waits. All right? So if you think about that, how do I reduce the complaints? You distract people. You entertain people. All right? So in a moment of great lateral thinking inspiration, this person put in one building, experimental building, floor-to-ceiling mirrors next to each of the elevators, and then watch what happened. Guess what? The complaints for elevator delay dropped to near zero. Problem solved. Nobody was complaining anymore. Sometimes men and women could even coyly flirt with each other through the reflections. Isn't that interesting? Where they wouldn't do it with eye-to-eye contact, a little bit too threatening. And the duration of the waits were unchanged. So the psychology of queuing is often just as important as the mathematics of queuing.